And we are live. Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings Live. This extremely handsome fellow is your host, Bill Miller. We have some good guests. Well, the best guests I could get for this live stream. We've got the Kentucky Connection, the crew, if you will. And we're starting off with a guy whose good girl art makes us want to take a cold shower in that cold Kentucky rain. That's Jambo's Comics.
Hey,
Jambo,
I thought you were going to say Bub. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Doing good. Glad to be here.
Excellent. We've got a gentleman who's not sad, but he is blue. And that's Alex Big Blue. What's going on, Alex?
Hey, guys. Happy to be here.
And we were supposed to have Nova Mad 1966 and Spider Comic 7. They were happy to join when they heard Jambo be on. But when I told them this next guest was going to be on, they had to wash their hair. And, of course, I'm talking about Bub's Comics. What's going on, Bub?
Hey! Well, I'm glad they washed their hair this month. It's a good start. What's going on, guys?
Not much. How are you?
Hey, buddy.
Doing well. This chat smells like Kentucky.
Doesn't it? So?
It does. Yeah.
All
What's
right.
going on?
So I wanted to talk, just to make it clear, about the comic books, the deals that we regret either fell through or we didn't buy, and later on we said, I wish I would have. Those types of comic books. It seems that we all probably have one or two of those situations. I know I have a few. Bub has 20, 30.
No, not me. I've got no regrets. But I'll listen to yours. It'll be fine.
I appreciate that. Lil Dope. What's going on? And Sly, how are you?
Hey, Sly, what's shaking? A little dope.
Why do I have a feeling that Lil Dope might be Mini Musings incognito? I don't know.
Well, does he play Rocket League? It looks like he's got a Rocket League logo.
Jeez, I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming that's a video game.
Right.
Well, I guess I don't know.
I thought
He
might be
plays a
from
lot of
Kentucky.
We got the Jackson Roy Kirk.
All right.
Bill is a closet trekker. He's a closet Kentuckian. I was
Are you
just
the
telling
closet trekker?
Jambo, I spent 4 hard months in Kentucky. So I have lived in Kentucky at one point in my life.
Isn't there a prison in LaGrange, Jambo?
Yeah, that's the area.
There's a
Yeah,
federal
yeah.
prison in LaGrange, isn't it? I think it's in LaGrange, Kentucky.
We called it the Pen. That
Yeah,
was
that's
the name
where
of our
that's where
compound.
Brandon learned to cut hair, I think.
Wouldn't doubt it.
He was on your side of the bars too.
All right, fellas. The ones that got away. I'll kick us off. So I had someone that I contacted on OfferUp, which is an app, a phone app, kind of like I think they bought. I can't remember the other one. There was another one like it that they bought, but it's essentially where people list whatever and a price, and then you message them through the app and say, "Hey, is this still available? Yeah. Can I take a look at it? Sure." And you go take a look at it, and if it's something you want to buy, no matter what it is, not just comics, you work it out with them in person. And so there was someone selling a couple of Spider-Man comics, so I went and checked them out. And it was nighttime. It was very cold, and he had to go in like 15 minutes. So it wasn't the best situation to begin with. And he had a long box of mainly 80s through modern comics. And Bub knows better than anybody, I'm not much for moderns.
Yes,
But at
this
any
is true.
rate,
Unless he's going to buy them, then he loves them. Good story.
Right? I looked through, and there was a couple of good ones. I grabbed like a ASM 298, 299, 316. I just had to grab a couple.
Hey, Bill, make yourself large while we're featuring your story. I wouldn't want anyone to think this story was mine. move me to the side for the next 30 minutes of your story, and
How do
then
we do that?
we'll cycle around.
There
No,
we go.
not that way. The other one.
Like, what's the other one? Like that. No, that. There we
Yeah,
go.
hey.
Boy, I'm so good at this. Check it out.
I tell you, getting better every week.
And so I grabbed a couple, and he said, "Hey, for this much more, I'll just sell you the whole long box." And I was like, I didn't have a time to really look through and figure out what was there. So I said, "Nah, you know what? If I can work it out, I'll hit you up in a couple of weeks, and we can take a look then." So that's what happened. And then I contacted him a couple of times since then, but he never responded. So either he sold it, or he said, "Yeah, that dude was a jerk. I don't want to sell him anymore." Or he decided, "I'm done selling comic books." But I missed out on what looked to be some promising Spider-Man books. So that's one of the ones that got away stories.
That's a sad story, Bill.
It is. I'm crushed just thinking about it. It makes me teary-eyed.
Yes.
That is sad.
I was going to go with that's a horrible story, but I didn't want that to be taken the wrong way. I didn't want people to think that I actually empathize. So
What's going on, Angel? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. All right. Who else has a story?
I'll tell you about a recent one I just had.
All right.
It wasn't a comic book, but I ordered a Parade of Pleasure book off
Whoa.
Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And you guys have heard of The Seduction of the Innocent, right?
yeah.
Well, there's
that
another
Parade of
book out
Pleasure.
there called The Parade of Pleasures, and it's abbreviated as POP in the Overstreet Guide and stuff like that. Well, I ordered one. I got it at a good price, good deal and everything, and paid for it. It was on the way, supposedly, and it never showed up. They said it got lost in the mail after
wow.
weeks and weeks. Yeah, lost. So they gave me a refund, but I didn't really want the refund. I wanted the book because I'm never going to find it for that price again. So
Yeah.
So this was.
thanks, Amazon.
Now, hasn't that been reprinted?
I'm sure it's been printed. Yeah, second
So
or
you
third
wanted
printing.
that original.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't blame you.
So, but it is what it is. And that's a sad story.
That is a sad story. Are these all going to be sad stories?
Pretty
Yes.
much, yeah.
All right, I want to go for it.
I've got something to help me through here. So
Absolutely. Oh my God. I need some whiskey.
That's one of those near beers, isn't it, Jambo?
yeah,
Yeah, whatever beer's near him, that's what he drinks.
that's it.
All right, you're up, Alex.
All right. So the first one I thought of was I went to Owensboro, and this is a pretty big consumer mall. So it has like tons of different books and stuff for cheap, and some of them a little more. But I remember one of the first few times I went there, they had the first appearance of Noel, which was, if you remember what the cover is, it's like basically Venom or something like that, swallowing something.
Yeah.
At the time, I thought it looked cool, and I thought buying it anyways. I didn't actually know that's what it was. But me being the cheapskate that I am, I think it may have had $5 or $10 on it. And I was like, well, I didn't know it was a key at the time. So I was like, I kind of want to get that, but I think I'll get some other books today. So I passed on it, not knowing that's what it was. And yeah, pretty much regretted that one ever since. So yeah, that's always fun. But that one's the one that sticks out. That's the one I had a chance of getting a big key. And the thing is, too, it's not even for the key factor of it as much as it is the fact that I just like to have that book anyways because he seems like a cool character. And, of course, as you know, I like Venom a lot. So that would have been a book I would just like to have anyways. So it kind of sucks that I passed on it for that reason. But, yeah, it happens, I guess. So
Yeah,
now I'm going to
Venom
start crying.
number 3, right?
Yeah. Owensboro is a tough little town.
Mm-hmm. That
To do
place
much
has
in.
a couple of keys every now and then, actually.
Yeah.
Now, how far are you guys from one another? Everyone?
About 3 centimeters on my screen, but I've got like a 32-inch monitor.
Smart guy.
I'm
about,
in South.
what, about hour and a half from you, Bub?
Yeah, it
And
seems like
Alex
longer.
is- okay, and then Alex is he's a little bit closer, I think, than
I think
Bub
about an
is.
hour from, probably an hour and something for Bub, maybe, give or take.
Maybe more. Are you past Bowling Green?
No, or yeah, I'm up there by Eat Town. So
Oh,
Yeah,
Hodgeville, or Hodgeville,
you're
you know where Hodgeville is from.
You're
You're
probably
probably
an hour and a
from
half for me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Almost an hour 45, really, by the time I got all the way over
Okay.
there. I'd probably go through Camelsville and up 55 to get there.
Oh yeah, okay.
You're in Hodgensville.
So
I had a
Jambo close to
buddy
you even?
that I visited for. a few
You
days.
already have to suspend disbelief. He had a buddy, everybody. He had to start off the premise with that. If you can get past that
I had an acquaintance.
truth.
I visited for a few days. He lived in Central City, Kentucky. If any of you guys have ever heard of that.
That's where the Flash is from.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That is where he's from.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
In this case, it was a guy that walked around in a trench coat and hung around the local Dairy Queen.
Well, that would have
a
been
different kind of
everybody.
Flash.
His first name was still Barry, though.
Yeah, it was Barry, wasn't it?
Barry Allen was his name. You've heard of him?
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you,
that's
Kate
good stuff.
Titus.
Well, it's been fun, you guys. I'll catch you next time. Bill.
What's up, Ken? Good to see you.
Come on,
sir.
you got a sob story, Bub. Let's hear it.
Honestly, I could only think of one. You want me to tell her already? I'll tell her already.
Bring it on.
What did I do with that book? Oh, yeah. All right. Hold on.
Does it have a happy ending?
I don't know. Did you put a super chat?
He asked that during every one of his massages, by the
All
way.
right. I'm sure he does. Yeah. It would help if any of those masseuses spoke English. Because the hand gestures really just get them thrown out. All right. I'll actually make this a quick story, unlike the ones we've just heard. Actually, they got quicker as they went along. So where's everybody else? Can't figure it out? Don't have any idea where they're at?
Let's see.
All right. Bill left. All right. There he is.
All right, we got you.
Yeah.
Now we don't.
There you go.
Now we do again.
This is working out great. Did you figure it out?
Oh.
All right, I give up.
Well, I think we're just gonna have you.
All right. All right. So, long story short, already went to Lexington, Kentucky for a convention. You guys know that one. It's coming up in September, I think, or maybe October. Anyway, October. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lexington, Kentucky, and I went there, and I was by myself, and I think it was the first time I ever went by myself, and it was before they.
Boy.
Yeah, I know. I usually bring the family and a couple extra kids, and so this time I was there just to buy books was the idea, and I was there one of the first people through the door on Friday morning, and this is before they did the Thursday night show, because now they do a Thursday night show, and you can go for just comics only for a few hours Thursday night. So the point is, this is the first time the doors have been open to this con on Friday morning. I took the day off, went down there. And I was there like fifth in line for the show because I wanted to get signatures from Steranko, and which I did. And I was first in line to his booth, actually waiting for him to show up.
Cool.
Anyway, that aside, the point was I was there before a lot of other people, and the vendors didn't even really have. They were still kind of setting up, some of them. So I get to this one guy, and he's loading wall books, and he had a Daredevil #1. Now it was beat but complete, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the front cover was a little rough, and the pages were, everything about it was rough, right? Probably a 1 at best, maybe a 0.5 even. It was rough. But I didn't have a copy, and I wanted a copy, and I was hoping to pick up a copy of this book. And my budget at that time, again, this was a few years ago, was probably somewhere around $800. It was like what I'd been willing, like the max. Like I didn't want to spend that for the whole convention. So, but I didn't expect to see this book affordably. And the guy wanted $600 for it. And I was like, oh man, that's not bad, and really for the price, it would have been a good buy. Of course, now it certainly would have been a good buy.
Right.
But I said, man, that's a little, can you work with me any on that? And he said, this is a really fair price for the book. It's complete. It's pretty presentable. I said, yeah, it really is. A little dirty, but I figured I could work with that. And then he said, well, I have this other copy, and he had a second copy of the book, and it was missing the back cover. But other than that, it was complete. And I was like, well, it's missing the back cover. How much you take for it? And he said, 400. And I said, okay. I said, I said, hold it for me. He was like, yeah, I'll hold it for you. And I said, okay. And then I went and I had to finagle some money because I didn't have, I asked him, I said, you take credit card or anything? Nope, cash only. I said, crap. So I had to leave the con, go to an ATM, which was out. You guys know where that is for the guys who have been to Lexington Con. It's out like the main area outside of the main con doors. So you had to go out there. I had to wait in line for the ATM. Finally, I'm transferring money around from PayPal to bank account to credit cards. I finally got enough cash out, right?
Right.
And so I went ahead and withdrew, and I was like, hey, I know I'll get both books, right? So I went ahead and withdrew like 1,200 or something like that. Yeah. And I went back and I was like, you know what? I'll take them both. And he said, you didn't tell me to hold the other one. I was like, what happened? He said, I just sold it. That guy walking away just bought it. I was like, no. So I was only able to buy the one, which I was able to find a back cover, marry it well enough to full CGC, and get a Blue Label 1.0. So that's how I got my Daredevil #1. But I could have had 2 Daredevil #1s. Sure. And I definitely would have kept this one because it was a better looking cover. Sold the other one, and man, you know how much those are going for now. I could have easily doubled or tripled my money on that and got this one for free. So that's always been one where ever since then, I just show up to the con with an old fashioned, ball of cash.
Right.
And so I've never made that feel like that mistake since, as far as not having enough money. So at the convention. So there you go. That's my story.
Cool. You're sticking to it.
All right. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I've done those, went to cons and seen books and think I'll come back and get that later. And yeah, they're never there. They're always gone. It seems like.
Yeah.
It's a Flash comic, all Flash. I was trying to get last con in Lexington, I think it was. And I missed out on that.
Do you go to that every year, Jambo?
I've missed 1 or 2 years, but yeah, I try to make it most of the time. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We're going to have quite a big delegation there this year.
Yep.
At Lexington. I'll be there.
October?
I think it's October. I'll be there. You'll be there. And actually, Two Brothers Comics.
Yeah.
Out of Georgia. Yeah. Well, one's out of Georgia. They're meeting up and then coming up there, and they're spending the night for the weekend there.
Oh, I didn't know Lexington. You guys let Georgians in.
Well, I mean, there's a very low bar, and fortunately, they're both short enough to get under it. So, so we're all going to meet up. I'm going to be there Thursday night for sure, and then I'll probably go back again maybe Saturday. I can't decide, or I might do all 3 days. I don't know. It's kind of expensive for what it is. Yeah, it's kind of one of the more expensive conventions. It's like $100 for the whole weekend. So I don't know. Depends if somebody wants to go with me or not.
Is it close enough to where you go there and go home, or do you stay in a hotel nearby?
It is, but it's about an hour and 45 minutes for me, not counting parking time and walking in and the whole routine. So it takes me a solid 2 hours from when I walk out my door to walk in through the con door, and not the con door, but the convention door. Yeah, gotcha. And so. That 2 hours, I'll do it. It's not worth spending the night, but it's also not worth. It also sucks to drive it 3 or 4 days in a row. Sure. So because it's Thursday night, Friday night, or Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So that's a long con. So
yeah, that's the same as Phoenix, whatever the hell they call themselves now. It used to be Phoenix Comic Con, then San Diego threatened to sue them, so they've changed the name a couple of times since then.
Yeah.
Mark Spector Comics, Dave, good to see you. Bad Avenger, thanks for stopping in. I love Disney and comics. Says he got a Silver Surfer #4 for $12. Good for you.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's not on theme, Steve.
that's on opposite day. That's the Bizarro to our story.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a happy story.
So Nova Mad poked his head in and then left. I don't know if he's having issues or not, but I've got another one. I've got plenty of them.
You've got more Novamads?
Fortunately, there's only one bearded barber.
Yeah, for real.
But I do have another sob story. This one was, speaking of Silver Surfer, it was on Offer Up again. And at least I didn't go there, but I saw it. $500. There was like 10 books. and 2 of them were a mid-grade Silver Surfer #1 and a mid-grade #4. And boy, I was pounding on there. Hey, are these still available? And then no response. And like 10 minutes later, sold.
Wow.
Sucks.
That sucks.
It does. Same thing happened with a lot of comics for $25. You know how you see them fanned out sometimes?
Yeah.
They'll just show them. Well, there was a little 32 on one of them with a W in the trade dress that you could just make out. $25. And
oh man,
same thing. About 15 minutes later, sold. Never answered my question when I asked if it was still available. So Phoenix is really competitive for whatever reason. I don't get it, but you would think that there aren't a whole lot of comic book collectors out here. I don't know why I think that, but really competitive when it comes to getting older books.
They just tell you that, Bill, so they can get all the good books.
That's what I think.
Another one for me was this one time, and I took Mrs. Musings with me. Sometimes she'll like to go check out the comics, and we went to this one place in South Phoenix. Wasn't a very nice area. They looked like a group of motels, very old, that had been converted into apartments at some point, maybe in the 50s or 60s.
Well, which was it, Bill?
I'm not sure. I'm going to say late 50s, early 60s.
All right.
But,
need the details, right?
There was this guy and his son. And they were selling some late 80s, early 90s. There were some early and late spawns. There was an ASM 300, a 301. And they were kind enough to invite us into their home, and we checked out the comics. And they had about 10 to 15 that I could count cats all over this little apartment. And my eyes were burning after about 30 seconds, I'd say, from the smell of ammonia. It was so incredibly strong.
Yeah.
And
that's cat piss, for those of you who don't know. The smell of ammonia is cat piss. Go on.
Yes, it was rough, like you wouldn't believe. And I made a quick offer, and we were just too far apart. And usually I'll negotiate, but I was like, that's cool. If you change your mind, just contact me. And I made it out as if I'd been underwater for 2.5 minutes and just burst out of the water and gulped in that fresh air. It was rough. I feel bad that they were living in that situation. That was tough. And here he is. He's not angry. He should be. There he is, but he's mad. It's Nova Mad 19 and 66, as Jambo says. What's going on, Brandon?
66.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Is he like in an old-timey photo? It looks like
having some phone difficulties, so if I disappear,
we got you.
I think that's how I look just in general.
It's not like
how we deal with audio.
Yeah, we hear you just fine.
Passable.
We wanted to get in on some of these hot stories about bargains that you passed up with comic books, ones that got away. You got one for us, sir?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put you.
The biggest one, or not biggest, but one of the main ones I could think of was, we were actually at a little comic book store here in Elizabethtown, and it was one of the few times I got to dig with Spider Comics 7 and Alex Big Blue together. Spider Comics 7, his wife, and let him out of the house. My wife let me out of the house, and we all went. So anyway, we're digging through these boxes. This guy's like, he's got a bunch of $1 comics, $2 comics. Alex, you might remember that. I think you were there for that one. But anyway, so he was only there for a short time, and we ended up. I was digging through a box, and I'm looking at the What Ifs, because that's one of my favorite series that I like to collect. And I come across the Spider Girl issue on the front, where it's kind of her, and she's sitting in long angle legs. What is that? 15, volume 2, 3, whatever it was. But anyway, so I looked right at it, and it was like a $2 book. And it just so happened that I just browsed right through it, and I thought it was the reprint, and I didn't pay attention to it. And Nicholas came right behind me, Spider Comics 7, and picked the book up, went up to the counter, and bought it for like $2 or $3.
Classic Spider Comics 7.
That was one of my big regrets, because I still never found that book in a while. So
that was your
again,
one
not
shot.
a great, not the most expensive book, but just one of those that I really wanted.
What a twerp that Nick is, anyway.
You know, he was on the very first episode
I hear you.
Of No Faces Comic Chat. Nicholas.
Was he really?
Yep. For about 20 minutes. And it was just babies crying, bad audio and video, and then he started cussing, and we lost connection.
Oh,
Yeah, he was one of the first ones to ever comment on one of my videos, I think. He's a good one. All right, so here's another one for you. Believe me, I got lots of them. Ain't none of them no good neither. So there was a guy who who had some magazines that he was selling, and there was a creepy #1, a couple of bands.
Hey, was that him or you?
He was.
He was the creepy #1?
We call it a bub.
Yeah.
And so, and I asked, is this still available? It was on offer up, and then it goes away. I'm like, all right, I guess someone snatched it up. It was listed like 125 for this set of 10 or 11 mags. And then maybe a couple hours later, it was back up. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess whatever fell through, you know? So I said, is this still available? He was like, yeah. So I went down, took a look at it. And, you know, Phoenix is big. That's one of the issues too, is that something could be an hour away. And so you have to take that into account. Do I really want to get this book badly enough to pack a lunch and take a 2-hour trip? So anyways, this was maybe 30 to 45 minutes away. I went there and took a look, and they were all beat reading copies, but there was a creepy 1, I think a creepy 8. There was a Vampy 3, I remember that, and 2 Eries that were in the teens. And so I offered like maybe 40. And he's like, no way. You know, I got people lined up to do it. I'm like, all right, well, you know, that's what I can do. And so I left. And sure, as soon as I was leaving, someone else was pulling into his driveway to check him out. And it wasn't listed long after that. I might have been too hasty and not upping it a little bit just to get some good readers, but it is what it is. Sometimes you get something stuck in your head and you're like, this is what I'm going to go with, and I'm not going to go anymore. I really don't care. And so that's kind of where I was at with that.
Someday you'll have to tell us that syphilis story. If you can remember.
Chuck, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. We got Chaos Comics. Bub got every comic he ever desired, quite possibly.
Pretty close. I'm running out of stories, and I only told one.
Superior Hero Reviews. What's going on? Good to see you. Any others? Anyone else have any other ones that got away?
Jambo's got one. Tell them about the time we went hunting together in Bowling Green.
Yes.
I think I know this one. Hold on.
Yes, I've seen a price guide, and I already had a copy of it. As a matter of fact, it looked kind of like this.
Yeah. So why would you need another one when you already have a copy?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I don't need another one of those. So I didn't even bother to check it out. And here comes Bubsy right behind me. And I showed it to him, and he's like, yeah, I'll take that. Got it home, and it had a nice LB Cole signature inside of it.
Now, who is this Pound Cole that you speak of?
Pounds
People
and
told
pounds
Bub
of
to
art.
pound sand, but never to pound coal that I'm aware of.
Here you go, Bill. Show this.
Yeah, let me put that. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
His Siggies are very hard to come by, from what I understand.
Yeah, it depends
Well,
how
they're
close
not
to the
making
bed
any
it
more
is.
of them.
No, they're not.
That's true.
I could forge one if you want.
I bet you could. I heard you can do that on checks, especially, Alex.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, there's a lot of, most of mine involve eBay. You know, you get ordering a book and you get outbid at the last second by somebody sniping or something, and you know.
Now, has anyone ever used sniping software for eBay? I have not, but
I haven't. It's not fun to me. You know, I guess if I was looking at it from an investment standpoint, where I'm gonna, you know, just it doesn't matter as long as I'm getting the book at a certain cost, then I want to own it. You know, or if I was someone that kept a pile of boxes unopened for 3 months, like some sort of you know, slightly deficient people do, you know, then that would be one thing. But I enjoy the entire process of finding a book that I want, hunting it down, getting it for a good price that I'm happy with. I enjoy the, you know, tracking the package as it arrives. Like, I never understand people like, I got this package, I don't know what's in it. Like, I know everything that's coming to my house. I know where it is. I see it on the camera when it gets dropped off at the door. I'm alerting people to go bring it in the house. You know, I never lose track of any of it. So for that reason, I don't use sniping software, just because it takes away a lot of those fun parts of collecting, because, you know, it's called collecting, you know, not end goal collection. You know, if I woke up tomorrow and had all the books I ever wanted, I don't think that process would be as fun as it would have been if I actually had a story to go with each book as to where I got it and how much fun it was to get. So,
sure,
there you go.
There's value in the journey.
That is true.
Yeah. Jerry the Jitterbug, good to see
Hey,
you.
Jerry.
Davey Clark, how are you? Good to see you. Good man, always watching my videos. So that's number one in my book. Means you're smart
man.
too.
Poor fellow must be stuck in some sort of institution without a remote. The TV remote's broken. Could you just undo one buckle? Just one buckle. I gotta change the channel, please.
That's how they get them to talk.
Yeah.
They start singing like caged birds right away.
Oh man. Yeah, they call him Guantanamo Bill down south.
No, I'll take the waterboarding. No. We gave you that option.
You gotta watch this all.
All right,
good stuff.
I got yet another one.
I'm not shocked.
You shouldn't be. This one was from Craigslist. A guy I contacted. He had a couple books. I think Cat Number One, couple Spider Woman books. Nothing big, but we worked out like $10, I think, for 9 or 10 of them. And the day before I was going to go pick him up, he called me up. He's like, "Hey, I'm at Half Price Books, and there's a Conan annual in here. You want me to pick it up for you?" I didn't even know this dude. I'm like, "Oh, sure, yeah, $1, yeah, go ahead and pick that one up too." So we did. And so, anyways, the next day I went over there to his house. Nice place. And he brought out the books. He said, "I got some Spider-Man books too." I said, "Okay, that's cool. I'll take a look."
They were under the bed. You'd have to get them yourself.
Well, he mixed me a drink, and the next thing I remember, waking up with a headache.
And sore knees.
A whole load of books right here in my basement.
They were all Silver Age Spider-Man. There was a 3, 7, 8, 9, 11. First, Death of Gwen Stacy. Just the first Kingpin, a whole bunch of them. And I'm like, I'm not big into Spider-Man. I'm mainly into modern books. You can ask Bub. But
true story.
I said, I'm not big into Spider-Man, but how much are you asking for those? He goes, I was asking 500. I didn't get any takers. And there must have been 50, between 45 and 50 of these Silver Age Spider-Mans. I was like, oh, I can do 500. He goes, nah, I'm going to take them to the comic book store and get a good estimate on them before I do anything. And so That was that. Oh, and I had like $9 on me, and it was $11. So I had to go get change from the car to get the other $2.
Oh
I
man,
owed him for those books.
what a dirty dog! Yeah, and you're gonna offer him $500. Yeah, I'll give you 500. Wait till I gotta go to my car. Here's some change over there.
Yep, good
Oh,
times.
Good. Well, there was one. There was a con, and I don't know if you guys, maybe Nova Matt and Alex go to this one, but the guy that runs the shop in Bowling Archives, right? He puts on a con every year as well, and that convention.
He didn't tell us he was going to have it this year, so we're definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, the last couple of years he's not had it, of course, but prior to that he would have it once, sometimes twice a year, and
Okay.
it's very dark. So anyway, he had this. I'm not going to show a book. You can, I can be with the rest of the group. There you go. Hi everybody. So they had. So he always has this convention, and this one particular year he had it at the Fraternal Order of Police. A little building down the way from the Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Okay. So he had it there, and they're always very small cons, poorly attended, and there's only like maybe 6 vendors there or so. Some of them way just overcharging for books, others not so much. Well, there's this one guy who was there that year, and it was his. I think it was my first time going that year, but it was his like 3rd time being there. And this guy, you name it, he had it, and it was super cheap. I mean, when I say cheap, anyway, amongst other things, he sold a Hulk 180 for $30.
Oh,
It was in rough shape, but I mean, we're talking probably about 4 years ago. Maybe 5, well, probably close to 4 years ago. So even then, at that time, that book was complete. A little rough cover, but still complete. I did buy a lot of books from him, a lot of keys. So I'm not upset with my experience there. But all the books were so cheap, and then he had long boxes full of books. And anyway, I just felt like next year when I see him, I'm gonna bring like $6,000. And just asked to buy his whole booth, because with $6,000 I could buy his whole booth, everything he had, and then start pricing. I could say, all right, thank you. Clearly I also bought this $6 folding table, so he can
leave hire him back to work your booth.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll give you $5 an hour. So anyway, long story short is I was pretty much out of money at this convention. I had, but there was an ATM in another town. I could have made something work, but he had a Ultimate Fallout 4. He had an Ultimate Fallout 4 there for $20. And at that time, it was before that book blew up, and that was still a low price for that book then, but I always thought that book was overrated. No, who gives a crap about this next Spider-Man? I know I don't. It's definitely a book I would have sold to when the prices went up. I would have got rid of that book. I don't even care to own it now. The only thing would have been if I could have flipped it. And but yeah, I was always mad at myself for not picking up that book, even though I was out of money. Still would have been nice to have it, and I could have found a way. Called somebody in the area and said, "Hey, come bring me $20," or do something, work PayPal or something. But I didn't even try. And I'm pretty sure he left with that book unsold too, because I stayed to the end of the con. He packed it up, and I watched it go out the door, and I thought I should have bought that book. I should have figured something out, but I didn't. And then that was the last time they had that convention, so they haven't had it again since. So I hadn't had a chance to see him, but it's coming back this year. It's going to be next month or something.
Cool. Hopefully he'll be there.
I hope so, but I bet his prices won't be low like they used to be. I bet he's purged all his good books over the last year or two.
Figured it out by now.
Yeah, but I'm going to bring
what
a big
was that guy's
bankroll.
name, Bub? What was his name?
I don't remember, Jambo. I'll tell you after I meet him, and you can come see his collection at my house. I can't remember. And I had even asked, like a week later, I went to the guy that owns the archives, and I said, "Hey, do you know that guy's name? And can you give me his name and number? I'd like to meet up with him. I said, is he local? He was like, yeah, he's just across the border in Tennessee. And I was like, well, let me get a hold of him and meet up. I'd like to maybe buy some more books from him, work something out. Yeah, well, he's going to be at the next convention, and it's only going to be like 2 months from now, because he would do that. He had one in like June or July. He'd have another one in December. And he's like, yeah, he's going to be at the next one. Don't worry about it. And you can get it then. And then the next one never happened. So,
yeah, they're like, this isn't Love Lines, Bub. Hit him up on Match.com, would you?
I know. It's been nice. We'll see how it goes.
This is something Bub hears about once a year.
I agree with Bub. Yeah.
Not too often.
I believe it.
All right, so I've got one. Assuming the audio works.
Yeah.
We can't hear you, Brandon.
So on the if any of you have been on my Instagram, you've probably seen the copy of Avengers #1.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a pretty interesting book. Oddly enough, one of my barber buddies came up to buy a barber chair from me that I got from him here in town. He came up from Portland, Tennessee. So he gets the barber chair, he gets home, and he happens to mention, we were talking about comics while he was here, and he happens to mention to one of his customers who runs an auction house that I'm into comic books. The dude's like, oh, I found a box of comics in the back of this guy's closet, I'd like him to come down and take a look at them. So the only thing that this guy knew for sure that he sends me the Facebook post, and we're talking about it, and it's all just kind of run-of-the-mill stuff that's been in really bad shape. And he's like, I wish this was in better shape. And the next comment that he sends me is Avengers #1. So I'm like, dude, that's still a really good book. We need to check this out and kind of take a look at it. So this goes on for about a week back and forth. He's going to be gone. He's not going to be at the place. He's going to be in, back and forth. So ultimately, a week later, I drive down to Portland, Tennessee after working at the furniture store all day long, worked till like 6 o'clock. Just got in my truck and drove another hour and a half down there to his place because I wanted to see this book. And things, there's like the second Silver Age appearance of the Riddler. There's just a few other random things in here that are okay books. But then I get to this Avengers book, and it's almost complete except for one of the corners has been like a mouse has got a hold of like maybe, I don't know, a quarter inch out of the quarter of this book. So ultimately I tell the guy, I'm like, I'll give you $1,000 for everything here. And he absolutely shoots me down. He's like, no, I've already got these cataloged. I can't do this. You're just going to have to put in at the auction. Oh. So long story short, I throw like $1,100 down on this book in this auction, like a proxy bid kind of thing. Yeah. And we keep the bid up till the last like 30 seconds of the auction. And some guy comes in, bids $1,600 and gets the book.
Yeah, I think that was actually Jackson that did that.
That's what I figured. I figured either Jackson or Bubs. I knew it was one or the other, or probably Nicholas most likely with us.
I'd still have it if it was me.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I could have committed a little bit more to it, but it was in a little rougher shape than what I wanted to do. So is it a regret? Yeah, yes. But at the same time, I might have dodged a bullet also. So we'll just go with it.
That's rough.
Wow. $5,000 to buy Action 1.
I'd
do that deal now.
I mean, I would, but I wouldn't be able to keep it.
No.
If I spent $5 on it, first, if I could convince all interested parties to come off all that much money for a comic book, then the very next question would be, and how much are we going to sell it for and when? So
I'd be the same way.
That would almost be more heartbreaking to have it fleetingly pass through my hands.
Yeah, but I mean, were you to get it for that cheap and be able to sell it for actual value, you'd have to, right? It's life-changing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Plus, I'm in the insurance business, so I'd have it plenty of documentation, have the pictures all taken, have it ready to go, and then I'd probably go ahead and set the house on fire. Since we're gonna have to buy a new house anyway, right?
I don't know what happened, Bubs. It must have been a heating and cooling issue or something.
Yeah.
That was my Avengers 1 right there with the
glare on it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And it was rough. It had a big chip out at the top, but I got rid of it thinking, well, I'll get another one.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't. So
You've got the
Since we're
picture.
telling top stories. Yeah, I've got the picture to remember it by.
That's
So
all that matters.
That's the DS
And-
thing.
in the memory.
Did you get a copy of the college degree that you helped to pay for to get that?
I did.
There you go. That's nice.
That's
I
funny.
can flash that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times. Yeah.
Last one I have was a guy who I contacted on Facebook. One of the few times I ever got anything on Facebook, or that I looked at anything on Facebook.
Besides gonorrhea.
I don't look at your page anymore.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
He was about 45 minutes away. It was nighttime, and it was weird. It was weird because you had to turn into like you're going into this liquor store, and then keep going, and then there was a mobile home park behind it.
Oh,
So
wow.
It was sketchy to begin with, right?
How
But
convenient.
whatever. So I was there, and he had advertised. He had in the pictures some Deadly Hands of Kung Fu books, some magazines, and he had a Marvel 15, Marvel Presents 15, and so
What's that?
he had a Marvel Presents 15, I think it was.
What's that? Is that like first something?
Yeah, isn't that the first Iron Fist?
I thought that was
Marvel
14.
Premiere.
Marvel
Marvel.
Premiere.
Oh, okay,
I'm
Marvel
sorry.
Premiere. Okay, yeah, all right.
My mistake. Yes.
Okay.
And so I went there, and he didn't speak English, but I speak enough Spanish to where it worked out. And he had his son there to translate, but it wasn't a problem. And so we got to talking, and I asked him my crude Spanish. I'm like, do you have the Iron Fist? And he goes, oh, I went to a comic shop yesterday, and I sold a couple of the books, and I think that's one of the ones that I sold. I was like,
Oh,
all right. And then I said, well, he had maybe 7 Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. This was maybe a year and a quarter or so ago. I said, all right, I'll do this on these Kung Fu ones. They were in decent shape, couple mid-grade, couple higher, but we just couldn't come to an agreement on it. So left empty-handed. That happens more often than not, unfortunately, but that's part of the game.
But look at the bright side, Bill. You could have been in a hole in the backyard there. So you were out in the middle of the desert, right?
That's true. At this point, I'm worth more alive than dead, fortunately. But that won't always be the case.
It's probably been a while, really, since I don't know, man. Things go around in circles.
Well, if Mrs. Musing reaches out to you with some insurance questions, Bob, you'll know something's up. Alert the authorities.
Do you want me to send the correspondence from last month or start fresh? Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah, I agree with Sly. I already timed that joker out. I don't have to worry about him. I agree with Sly. It stinks to leave empty-handed completely. Like, it's so far a lot of our stories where you left with something, but not everything you wanted. But to leave with nothing but the money in your hand that no longer even, like, this doesn't even mean anything anymore. I'm so happy not to have it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I usually leave with what I came for or empty-handed. That just seems to be the way it works out. And it's not so bad if the distance weren't so great sometimes. It could be just for me to go to the east side of Phoenix to the suburbs like Queen Creek or Mesa. It can be an hour and a half one way. And so that's a considerable investment. It's something you got to kick around in your head. But then I'm always cognizant not to let that influence my decision on whether or not something is a good deal. If it's not a good deal 5 minutes away from my house, it's not a good deal an hour and a half away from my house. And so I usually stick to that principle. I don't want that swaying me to jump on something that I probably wouldn't have did I not make that transportation outlay.
Yeah. It is tough though when you have to, like, whenever you're dealing with the kind of apps and things that you're talking about where someone could be so far away, I do like, is it worth it for me to, especially for the ones that are more like, I had one where a guy on Facebook throwed up on Marketplace a box of Archie comics. Now, at that time, I didn't have any of the Archie books that I were wanting at the time. Mm-hmm. So, which is just a very small handful. But he had some older ones. He definitely had some from the 60s. And I was thinking, well, there could be a few in there. It'd be worth something. And I was like, how much are you wanting for him? He said, I think he wanted $300. And it was only like maybe 25 books. And he had a couple of early Atlas in there too, but they were all just crap romance. I was like, nope, that's way too much. And he was like, well, how much did you give me for him? And I said, I was thinking more like $100. I'll give you $100 for the whole book. He was like, no, the lowest I could do is 300. And I was like, what? It's like, what are you talking about? I was
What
like,
kind
all
of
right.
negotiating is that?
I was like, no, I said, I got to stick at 100. Thanks though. And he was like, all right, I'll give them to you for 200. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I know I should be negotiating back and forth. But at this point, the guy was only a town over. I was like, at this point, I think $100 is where I'm at. He said, okay, if you meet me right now, and this is like in the middle of the night at this point, it's like at midnight. If you meet me in Walmart parking lot in his town,
chaps on.
Yeah, pretty much. With $100, then I'll do that deal right now. And I said, dude, I'm in no condition to be driving. It was like a Friday night.
Right.
I was busy. I said, I'm in no condition to be driving to anywhere, a town away for, to pick up $100 worth of books. I said, we can do it tomorrow. And he was like, all right, fine. We'll do it tomorrow. I'm not actually going to be the one that's meeting you. You're going to be meeting with another guy, but give him the money and I'll send the books with him. When he tells me that he has the money, then the books will be in his trunk. I said, you know what? I think I'm done. So I no thanks. But and then the listing disappeared, right? Of course. And I was just always wondering, was that a legit deal? Should I have gone and done it or not? I don't know. I just always kind of wondered about that deal, whether I should have made it.
That kind of reminds me of the scam that Alex and I were pulling here about 3 or 4 years ago, where we would try to sell boxes of Archie comics to people for. Well, never mind. Sorry.
I believe it.
Make sure you're not
Brandon had
followed.
the duct tape and the baseball bat. Alex had the comics.
Terrible. Oh well,
you're right. That sounds sketchy on so many different levels. Could have been legit and just a weirdo who didn't know how to fucking.
And I figured, I kind of already, judging by the town I was going to have to drive to, I already assumed it was some crackhead or some meth head or something that someone had, bought a joint for a box of books, and gave him a box of books he stole from somebody, didn't know what to do with them, So I already assumed that, and I would have been okay with that, with doing the deal. But once it got that next level of shady where I'm not even dealing with the main crackhead, but his minion crackhead, that's when I'm out. I'm like, I don't know. I'm out.
You'll be talking to my associate.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll have a ball back because he's going to baseball practice.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like that little voice in your head's telling you this isn't a good idea. It's good to listen to it every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. What else?
So what about all the books that we've regretted buying? that whole
other show, and that would be one of those marathon live streams. I think for me.
Yeah, that's that whole 2 or 3 year period when you first start buying comic books and you just buy everything because it looks cool.
If the edition says 1995 or newer, then I understand what happened.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm looking at
everything I bought in the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm looking at an issue right now of Star Slammers #2 from Image.
Star Slammers?
Yeah, it had to be a good book, right?
I know the movie was decent.
Huh.
Was it?
I have no clue what this is. I have no clue where I got it from, but it's just there.
It was rated X, wasn't it, Bub?
Yeah, I think it had 3 X's actually. Yeah, good stuff.
Is there a
Oh, man.
connection? There can't be a connection, I'm sure, right, between the book and the movie?
I don't know. What are they wearing in the book?
Bob knows by memory what they wore in the movie.
Yeah, it's easy. There wasn't much. I think it was just some glitter.
I'm sorry, it was actually Malibu Comics.
Ah, there we go.
Star Slammers.
Star
Hold
Slammers.
on, let me put you up. There we go. No,
I'm pretty much
thinking that.
It was clearer when he was smaller.
Walt Simonson.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he would have been associated with that.
No,
Naughtiness.
probably not.
I would open it up and see what it says, but Alex is headed up to the shop and the pages are all stuck together. I don't know.
I believe it.
Yeah, I was gluing some stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone have any books that they wanted to show off while we're on?
Like just random like?
Well, Jimmy told me that Bub, you don't listen very well when he tells you we're supposed to be showing books.
Do what?
Jimmy the Geek Aficionado told me.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jimmy the Geek. He didn't tell me he had any books. He wanted us to show any books, so I didn't know. Now I know. We got No Faces Comic Chat tomorrow night, everybody. Get on that.
What's the can you reveal the speaking of reveal, let's make Jambo.
Ooh.
This was kind of a happy ending. I
Whoa.
got this.
Oh man. Never get that
That's how
out of
you
the
got
bag
the
now.
book, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of stuck
Whatever you
together.
got to do, Jambo. There's no judging here.
Yeah, so been looking for it for a while. You don't see them very often, and yeah, got it off eBay, believe it or not. And it is beat up, but I mean, yeah, first Rula.
Nice.
Very cool.
That is
Yeah,
fantastic.
glad to have that. Love the Jungle Girls.
I'm reading a book. It's not a very good book, quite honestly, but
How to succeed at YouTube while really trying.
yeah, the one you wrote last year, Bob.
I wrote that last year, yeah.
As I was saying, not very good. But it's some of the Seduction of the Innocent books, and one of the Rula issues was in there. I think it was I can't remember what
This
it was
one.
from. It might be. It was just one story, and they're printed in black and white, very small. It's really hard to see. And I thought there would be more metadata, more information about why it was included in the book, things like that. But essentially, the author just says a bunch of smart ass, couple paragraphs of stuff, and then does a reprint of one of the stories. So
Yeah.
I don't even know.
It
if I'm
was
gonna
like
continue reading.
all this good girl art and stuff, right? But the reason this was in there was an injury to the eye panel.
Oh, okay.
Go figure. Yeah.
Figure being the appropriate word there.
Hey, look at that. That almost qualifies for a quip. Just under the limit there. I don't know. Jambo, Sly wants to know what the topic for No Faces is this week. Do you know what it is? Jambo, did you pick one yet?
Oh, did I pick one?
Yeah, you're on tomorrow, remember?
Oh, am I? Yeah, I remember.
All right. Send me the topic.
Okay.
Nice.
We don't know yet, Sly. Jambo's still choosing.
Yeah, I
All right,
wasn't
we
going to ask you because it doesn't seem like you want to let that cat out of the bag too soon.
I don't create the cat until much later in the evening and or tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Then if I really don't know what to choose, then I tell the special guest, well, what do you think the topic is going to be?
You're such a dork. That's exactly right. You got it.
Yeah. Hey, way to go.
That is a
we
cool
got
one,
X-Men
Alex.
versus Vampires #1. I thought this was pretty awesome. I saw it randomly for $1, I believe it was.
You can't beat X-Men and you can't beat vampires. So if you got them together, sign me up.
Yeah, I
Cool
just
book.
thought the cover was pretty epic. I couldn't really pass up on that premise, honestly.
Is that going to be on a review later?
Probably will be. I hadn't read it yet, so yeah. When I do that, I'm sure it will be.
Cool.
I love the monsters and also, of course, comics. So it's X-Men in there too. I'm going to read it soon, I'm sure.
I love it.
Nice.
I want to see you do one of those random reviews again too. That was pretty cool, where you roll the dice.
Oh yeah, I actually had fun doing that one. I might put that book in it next time for adoption.
Very cool. And speaking of output, we seem to be a couple drawings behind there, Brandon.
I have those primed up. I just have to put a little color on them, and I'll have them in like a amalgam issue now that I've moved into the house. And
sweet.
Starting to wonder if the noise fell them like you did the pizzas.
All right, I got a couple pickups I'll show.
Oh.
Now, I'm not much for moderns, but Mrs. Musings likes watercolor ones, so I got this I got a couple of the Peach Momoko ones.
So those aren't your books? Or just one of them hers and the rest are yours?
Technically, they're both hers.
All right.
I picked these up for 50 cents a piece at, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a record/bookstore. Nothing really big on those.
Hey, those Astro Cities are hard to come by, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They are.
It was a cool one.
Alex Ross covers.
There you go.
The Astro Cities. Astro City. Bill, Astro City. Yeah, there you go. you almost derailed him, Jambo. I think now we know why Stark Industries is failing.
It doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't.
And that was it. I haven't been getting much lately. I've been so busy that I just can't go out and follow up on people that have comics or go to places that aren't comic book shops that have comics. I very rarely go to a comic book shop. So if I go, because I'm just not going to find deals usually at comic book shops.
Come on, Bill. We know you're grounded. It's okay.
Well, that too.
I'm on a bit of a buying freeze myself. I'm going to try to not pick up too much of any of my hobbies for the next couple of weeks. I've got some vacation time coming up and looking forward to spending money frivolously. So I've got to make sure it's all there.
Where are we going?
We're not going anywhere. At least you're not going anywhere. Not with me.
That's true.
Just going to we're going to Tennessee for a little while, and then we're going to Tennessee again. Actually, going to 2 different places in Tennessee within a month. Then we got conventions galore in September and October, and then we have and then in February going to Vegas, and next year going to Disney for summer. So we've got a lot already booked and ready to go. So I got to make sure we do it right. I'm going to try and trick my wife into marrying me again in Vegas. In Vegas for the first time, but marrying me again overall. We'll see. Did it once.
She takes that gamble twice.
I don't know. Maybe she'll let me pick out the dress this time. The last one chafed. It hurt. You know.
Yeah, it's too easy. Now, when you say Disney, you go to Disney World, right?
I assume so. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Disney here is California. So
you're not in California, are you?
Well, I'm right next to California, so.
Well, who isn't? Yeah,
so
just so you know, I'm going to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Disney World, I have no concept of. I just know it's bigger than Disneyland.
Yes. By semantics, I'd agree, although I've not been to either before. So I don't really know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bubs, I guess that's like going from Somerset to Greensburg here, I guess, for Bill.
That'd be rough, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's right down the road.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Disneyland's probably between 6 and 8 hours away, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really know. I would just assume that the names would kind of take the size. Like you can go to Liquor Barn, you can go right, or you can go to Liquor World, And my assumption is that World is better than Liquor Barn, probably better than Liquor World.
Land doesn't necessarily connotate.
I don't think they have Liquor Land. I don't know. Like Jambo always says, Liquor Barn, I barely know her. Yeah.
And he does anyways. That
Yeah, he
son of
does
a
anyway.
gun.
Yeah, he's
Not
all
that
down
again,
for Liquor World,
I'd
though.
say.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
Jambo tricked me into eating some turkey wings. No, what was it? Turkey ribs.
Turkey
Remember that?
ribs. Yes.
Holy moly! And they're
Better
not
you
actual. Yeah, they were fantastic, except until I got to the frozen center. But other than that, that may be on the establishment rather than the actual
Turkey
meal.
popsicles.
Yeah, it was good though. They weren't actually ribs though, because you would think a turkey rib's just tiny, right?
Yeah,
But they were shoulders, like the turkey shoulder, and they called them turkey ribs because they look like ribs.
I didn't even think you or Jambo could eat turkey. Isn't that like cannibalism?
Hey, look at that! Oh boy, good thing it's his channel. we don't let those bad jokes fly on our channels, do we, Jambo? No. High
Get
quality
booted right off of
entertainment. Yeah, absolutely.
Jackson's got a question.
Yeah, Jambo's going to be on tomorrow.
He seemed kind of shifty when you mentioned it earlier. So,
Well, he is kind of shifty. I mean, we looked up special guest in the dictionary. It was on Jambo's face. Are you available, Jambo, tomorrow to be on?
Sure.
All right, we got
I'm trying
Jambo
to think of
on.
the topic though.
Yes, please. Or you're just trying to guess the topic. Remember, I already
Guess
have one
the topic,
selected.
I mean.
You're just
Okay.
trying to guess what the topic is. Tell me your
Yeah.
best guess, and I'll let you know if you're right.
Is DS going to be there?
He's out again tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm subbing for DS.
Yes,
So,
as it turns
okay.
out.
That's a
All
low
right.
bar, Jambo.
Yeah, we went to scrape the bottom of the barrel. The barrel broke, and we found you in a corner by the mousetrap. We're going
Hey,
with
wait,
that.
I seen the abuse that Bill got last week, man. I don't know.
There's no way you earned near as much abuse as Bill got. Oh man!
Just know you're a glutton for punishment, Jambo, as soon as you get on. I rocked back and forth and cried myself to sleep that night, but
I
you get over
believe
it
it.
eventually.
I believe it.
In a fetal position, cried himself to sleep. Yes.
Yeah. Just like
That's how you
everything.
know it's been a good YouTube night.
Yeah. Had big fun, didn't he?
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
Well, we're past an hour, guys, so we're gonna wrap it up. It's good to have you. Oh wait, Bill, go ahead, Bill. Have a good time.
Well, what do you want to tell the folks, Bub?
Nothing,
It is
I'm good.
time to wrap it up. Thank you guys for being on. I appreciate it. And you too, Bub. Thank you guys for watching. Does anyone have anything coming up on their channels?
Yeah, I'm gonna be drawing the winner for my 400 subscriber contest this
Which
week.
you've hit. Congratulations, Jambo.
Yeah.
Finally made it. Yes.
Am I-
Thanks,
am I-
guys.
Am I entered into that?
You are. I think everybody here is in it.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right.
So hopefully it'll be somebody, and I won't have to ship overseas. You know.
Especially not to like Gray Man or somebody.
Oh yeah.
So if you win, Bub, I'll just hang on until I see you next month, right?
That's good. That's good. I'll keep claiming through your halls. Every time I see a hall, put that in the box. Put that one in. Put that one in.
I hope it's like Simple Simon that wins, just to stick it to you a little bit.
That'd be great.
It was Kate Titus last time I did a giveaway. He's in
I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, I can only imagine what that's going to be now if it's something like that.
That's
So
Good luck to everybody.
yep.
Anybody else?
Well, what if
Yeah,
he's
I'm
got more than one thing coming up on his channel? You just cut him off like that? Jambo, you got anything else going on?
Of course, we always got another haul coming up.
All right.
Golden
And-
Age?
No, this is just Bronze Age stuff.
Okay, nothing wrong with
Still
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good
Bill loves
stuff,
the
or I wouldn't
Bronze
have
Age.
it.
I do
That's
love the
right.
Bronze Age. I like bronze, silver, gold. Bub knows I'm not much for moderns, but
Yeah, I know he's not. In spite of all the ones he picks up for 60 cents a piece, although he tried to get them for 50 cents a piece.
That's true. Well, I like to be clear. I want to make sure people don't think I'm saying 50 cents because that's dishonest.
Absolutely. Yeah, for all the slabs, all the modern slabs he shows, which of course he shows in a manner that you get to see the grade before he does. Yeah.
I like it. Anybody else? Alex,
Thanks,
Bub.
Jackson.
Yeah, I've got my 400 subs contest coming up probably within a week or two because I'm only 15 away now, I believe. But last time I checked. So
Congrats.
hopefully that happens sooner than later. And other than that, I've got all the series that I do regularly, so I'll probably do some of those in between there. So pretty excited just to do whatever kind of.
Cool.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And just to fall to the peer pressure of everybody having contests, I've been announcing a contest here recently that I was going to do one. So I'll do a little pre-announcement here, and I'll go ahead and tell you guys this. In honor of moving, and me and my wife moved into a new house here recently. In honor of all that, I'm going to do a moving day contest. I want you to pick your favorite character or one of your favorite characters. I want you to make a short video just telling me one pro of them helping you move and one con of them helping you move. And with that little video, when I do that, if you've seen it here or if you heard about it here, I want you to go ahead and post that you've done it on the video that I'm going to probably post this weekend. I want you to do it there and then post that you heard about it from Bill's live stream. And if you do that and I see that on your comment, then you're probably going to get an extra entry to that. So
nice.
All right. Hey, I heard it here first.
There you go.
What's your contest, Bub?
My contest is actually I have one going on, which is rare. Actually, you have a contest going on. So the intro the countdown. So I made a new countdown, the last episode of No Faces Comic Chat. So for the 3 people that will watch this in the rewind, that would actually be a week ago. By the time you see this tomorrow. So my last episode of No Face Comic Chat, it says contest announcement on the title now, so that way people can find it. Although I don't really want too many people to find it because then I gotta give more stuff away. So we're doing a quick contest. You're just gonna name all the books that I show by name, title, and number, of course, and the year either of the series or that particular book was published. That way there's no confusion, especially for multiple, there's some books that have a lot of different volumes, so we don't want to get that confused. Right. And it has to all be exact, and there's 31 books, so it's a bit of a project. But for anyone with 45 minutes to spare, you too could be a winner. So, and I'll announce a winner a week from tomorrow on No Faces Comic Chat. So it's a 2-week-long contest. We've already had a few entries, and I'm not going to say if we've already had a few potential winners. But it has been fun. So there you go. So check that out and then drop me a little thing down there. Either email me your list or Instagram me your list or whatever, and let me know how you did. And I won't let you know if you won, but you can watch us in 2 weeks to find out. There you go.
I got them all right, man.
You didn't submit anything, you bum.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
It's in the email.
Well, it does look like fun, and there were several people on the No Faces chat that said they were interested in doing it. So it looks like a fun project.
But what's really fun is that once you send that list in to me, I'm sure you believe that you have them all correct.
Right.
But I can honestly say that we're not at 100% here. So some people have entered that did not win. So
can you enter more than once?
No, and I'm not taking any corrections or additions because I've already had that raised as well.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I didn't mean to. Yeah,
All right.
I'm sure. All right. Yeah. No, you send it in once. That's all you got.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. If you're watching on Rewind, thank you. Thank you, especially to everyone in the chat. Mm-hmm. Disney and Comics, Jackson, Roy, Kirk, Sly. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Comic Artist Pro, I hope you really don't retire from YouTube.
I hope he does.
Chaos and Comics, Mark Spector Comics, Bat Venger, Ken, everyone. Have a great night. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye, all.
Thanks, Phil. Good to see you, everybody.